8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Mother B. Rocker!
You are now tuned in to Butter B. Rocker on Transparency Talks Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, Butter B. Rocker. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. I'm super excited about this gentleman. He is a filmmaker, a director, a producer, an actor. He's my friend. He also has his new podcast called Good Head in the Morning. Please show some love for Marcus Head.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I am working it out, baby. A lot going on, but it's all positive. How are you?
I'm doing real good. I haven't seen you in a good minute.
Yeah, love the intro, man. Thank you so much. I love your intro for your podcast. And yes, you are my friend. Not too many people I can call friends in this business. So happy to be here.
Good. So I want to go ahead and just dive right on in. Can you tell everybody a little bit of background about yourself, and then I'll go ahead with my questions and stuff.
Absolutely. So my name is Marcus Head. From Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to Chi-Town. I started out as a stand-up comedian in Atlanta, and I'm old school. Back in the day, started out with myself, Little Duval, Little Rail, Double D, and T. Ray Sanders. And I have evolved from comedy to I'm a film director. My wife and I, we first was watching TV, couldn't find anything on TV, and she was like, "Why don't you just write a movie? You always talking about writing it." Bam, Can't Get Right came out, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because I have a major announcement. And like I said, I have a podcast now, but before anything else, I'm a communicator, a teacher, and a person that just loves to inspire people.
That's awesome. So I do have a question for you. Okay, so you started out as a comedian. What made you say, okay, I'm done?
I'm not going to say I'm done as a comedian. I was
Okay.
on WGCI with Leon Rogers in Chicago, 107.5. Shout out to them. And he introduced me and said, well, first, he comedian. He going to always be a comedian first. And I thought
I
about
feel
that. And because I love, like I said, love making people laugh. So I'm not going to say, now I'm not getting back on stage. I'm like Steve Harvey. I'm retired. I'm not getting back on stage. But I put my comic into my production now, basically, to where I don't have to actually be on stage, but you can tell the humor is my footprint and my personality.
That's true. I had the pleasure of being on one of your projects, and it was definitely funny. It was hard taping sometimes because it was so funny at times.
Well,
And it
that's
was
good.
hard to stay in character because when you would hear the things coming out of people's mouths, you're like, "Oh my goodness." So,
The backstage stuff when we wasn't taping was like the hilarious stuff more than anything else. Where everybody, because when you got a bunch of comedians on, oh my God, it's just, and I'm one too. So we're gonna all, feel like we backstage at the what do you call it? You know how you backstage waiting to get on? That's
yeah.
how it felt. So I had a great time. You did an amazing job, and I know we'll touch base on that in a minute, but I'll give you flowers. You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and play it. I'm gonna play your trailer to your film. You want to introduce it?
Yes, the film is called Can't Get Right. It's got Butter B. Rocky in as Jasmine. It's got Rodney Perry as Officer Buford Black. We also have Shawty as the lead as Tyler, Damon Williams, Mahogany Raspberry playing Grandma Dirty, Jesse Lewis. Just a squirt, just so many people. I just can't even go on. Basically, it's about a man that finds a bag of money. He's irresponsible, lives with his pot smoking grandmother, and he finds a bag of money that belongs to the mob, and it's going to take the whole community to get him right. So what you're going to see here is just kind of clips and things about a lot of the different setting and scenes where we're going to be filming in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Okay. Well, I'm
All
gonna
right.
play this, and then we're gonna come back and ask you questions.
Dope.
tried everything, but he just couldn't get right. Maybe he'll think of something one day, but until then, he just can't get it right. Yep. Always up to no good, and this game is never on tight. On the wrong side of the hustle, cause he just can't get it right. I said always up to no good, and this game is never on tight. On the wrong side of the hustle, cause he just can't get it right. You know that type of brother, always letting people down. Chasing after that dirty nigga, looking like a crazy clown. When he finally gets the job, next day getting fired. Boss never want him around, cause he's always lazy and tired. Every thought that comes to mind always float away like a kite. Every day's a different.
I get goosebumps every time I play any of my trailers or anything I've ever created and I'm watching it. I just get goosebumps.
You should. You should. It's a major accomplishment. As you know, I just also did my first film, and it's a lot of work. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. So to see it transform and, you can physically see it, that's a major accomplishment. So hats off to you. So speaking of Can't Get Right, let's dive into a little bit of that. And, what made you come up with the concept?
Well, actually, the concept is a story of my life because when I was growing up, I was that dude. My grandmother used to always call me Can't Get It Right because I could never do stuff right. I was lying. Like, I could be that dude that would throw rocks at the window, have dirt on my hands, and my aunt would come up and be like, "Who threw them rocks?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I got like dirt all on my hands and everything else, all wiped on my shirt. So I always had that reputation of somebody that was always just up to no good, couldn't do right. And, I grew up in the barber shop. I wasn't a barber, but, I definitely had that barber shop. Every Saturday we go to the barber shop. I went to church. We went to one of them strict church. So we kind of changed a little bit to where we had that loud mouth because since I've grown out of my church, I went to a lot of these loudmouth, slick pastor churches. So I wanted to incorporate that. And I wanted to show a positive of someone doing something. He wasn't negative. He was just a guy that just was irresponsible, but he was a cool dude. And I just wanted to show how someone that was irresponsible still can get a bag of money and take care of his people in the community.
Okay. So what's your writing process? What do you come up with first? Your title, your concept? How?
That's funny because I got like 4 projects. Two of them I just finished, and one of them I'm in the midst of. And basically, I used to think, what do the people want? And then I figured out I've toured comedy clubs all over the country, and I have an idea what funny is. And I got my first big break in comedy when I used to tour with Ron White. And Ron White was a guy from the Blue Collar Tour with Billy Engvall, Larry Cable Guy, and Jeff Foxworthy. And when I was touring with him, I was opening up in stadiums and arenas and things, and I was seeing like cranes, and I was seeing all type of just so many different things that got me inspired. And then him and I sat down, and he was just telling me how to write a joke. And basically, I would write like a bubble scene, and then I'll extend that bubble to things we could do in the scene. So barbershop, put barbershop, and then write who's in the barbershop, what is the concept, and things like that. So it's like an extended umbrella. So anybody that is looking to write in the business, 2 things I recommend: put it in a professional format. And if you don't know how to format, it's very easy. Just go to Google. I learned how to do Google, and Skillshare taught me everything about writing, directing, and everything else. So when you're writing, write a story about something that you can just keep magnifying. Now, when I have writer's block, what I do is I'll just add another character, and then that will help me continue to write and then mix and add and tie all that in. So when you have writer's block, add a character to your thing, and like I said, it'll help you get on track. But the creativity is something I've always had. So I just love, my imagination is crazy. So, you got to have an imagination. I hate to write because I can't spell worth of nothing, but thank God for spell check. But those are the 2 things I would say is put it in a format. And I mean format, not no Word or nothing like that. I'm talking Final Draft is what I use. Or do something like Celtrix or something like that. But go with Final Draft or what's the other one? What's the one you use?
I use Final Draft.
Final Draft. Okay. Final Draft. And if you have a Mac, it's called, I forgot the name of it. Oh, but I'm
I
sorry, I
have a
can't.
Mac, but
Okay,
it's
there's
still
another one with Mac, but just look up format for script writing. Don't try to write it on a piece of paper and then put it in Yahoo or put it in you know, one of those, Word or something like that because it's not going to format right.
right. So when did you realize that you had a passion for directing and really wanted to do this?
Two, first time I was watching A Different World, and I know everybody remember A Different World, and that was a scene when Wayne was got the job for Kanishiwa,
Mhm.
and Terrence was having an issue, and he decided to stay in school and be a teacher. That inspired me to want to get into the business. And then the directing and everything else came when I watched the Five Heartbeats. When I watched the Five Heartbeats, that just really got me to like, wow, I can do this. So shout out to Robert Townsend because he inspired me to want to become a director and really get into the writing and business. But it's always been in me because, I write jokes for comics for years. So if you can write a joke, you can write a film.
I feel the same way. I feel if I can write music and tell a story, I can tell a story any type of way. So, yeah, I definitely understand that. But it's not easy. There's definitely, some steps and things that I personally had to learn along the way with it being my first film. So, speaking of that, what has been some of your challenges you faced dealing with your first project?
You know what's funny with my first project? We did it in a pandemic. My son was in third grade at the time, and it was online, and we was at home, so he had to take tests online, and he wasn't passing a lot of them. So I had to step in to help him out, and then we both was flunking together because I didn't know a lot of that stuff. So I was googling stuff, and I would like sit right next to him at the computer, and then I get him an answer, and I slide because you had the thing where the teacher can see you, so I would let him know what it is. I even called my ex-wife for some math problems because I didn't know how to do it, but we passed though. And the biggest challenges was just putting it all together because, as you know, we had a lot of rehearsals, and my 5-year-old daughter changes outfits like every 2 seconds. So we doing interviews. I got Montel Jordan, who's a producer on the show, and I got like a bunch of people. We doing online talking about the film project and everything. And she coming in with no clothes on, got the shirt over her head, and she running around and everything else. So it was a mess. But I'll say raising the funding for it was challenging because, as you know, and I'll keep it real, we ran out of money. When we first started, we had to do it in two sequences. The first time we shot for like 7 days, and then an investor I had who was supposed to be help funding the project pulled out at the last minute. Now, I made the big mistake of not having the money in the account, and he was supposed to give it to me that day, that week, and it never transpired. So I had to explain to everybody, including you and everybody else, hey, we got to shut down production. We don't have the money for it. But I kept in touch with everybody. I was open and honest with everybody. And eventually we got the money, paid everybody. And then we shot again. Didn't make the mistake, had the money in the account. And I think we had a better production because this was my first. Now, I've been in the film business for a while, but this was the first directorial debut to where I was in charge of my own production. And as
Mhm.
you know, it's different when you're directing somebody's film and when you are directing your film that you putting your money and your name on it.
Right.
So that was the biggest challenge was raising that. And, like I said, we shot twice. It took us 2 months to raise the money again, but then we was able to pay everybody. I don't owe one person on the set, production, or cast $1. And what I'm really proud of is the relationships everyone built because there's people that didn't know anybody from anybody and now they best friends. I got two girls that roommates on the show, three people on Tyler Perry set right now, two people on Eva's project, the All the Queen's Men. I got two people on what's that guy named Will Packard's thing with Kevin Hart. They're doing something. So everyone that's been on our production and cast have evolved. People like yourself. I like to think that I inspired you to really dig deep to want to finish and do your film. And I know you called me about a couple of questions and. I was like, girl, you don't really need me. You know what you're doing, and you did your thing. So I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I can definitely say that you was very instrumental in helping me because it was my first film as well, and I had so many questions and I was just lost. I'm like, "How do you do this? How do you do this?" And you just poured into me. So I want to officially say thank you. because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't pull back and help, other people. And you was not a person that was like that. You was very willingly, very willingly helped me. So I do appreciate every
Hey,
call.
I enjoyed it, and like I said, I'm so happy and proud of you, and I enjoyed it, and you know, whatever I can do, I'm still, like I said, we friends before anything else. So I definitely, um, like I say, we're not finished working together. We got a couple more projects I'm gonna have you on. Hopefully, you won't get too big for me where you can't come work with old little Marcus over here. So
So one of the things that you said was that you initially had your shoot date for 7 days. So explain to a new filmmaker, how do you determine how many days you need when you're trying to shoot your first film?
So the first thing that you need before anything else is you need to develop a budget. And when you develop a budget, you need to know what is your budget. So you cannot just create a number. You have to create a number that makes sense. So it took us 17 days total to do Can't Get Right. So I knew that I had to budget for 17 days. So basically, you outline 17 days, how much you're going to pay each actor, your film crew, and things like that. And you want to put that on a Excel budget sheet. And anybody that has any questions about anything, please feel free to send me an email to filmmaker@mheadfilms.com, because just like Butter said, I don't care who you are. If you're passionate and you want to do this and you need just that little edge, I'm going to give it to you because I know what it's like to try to, get that and get that knowledge. So I wish someone gave me the knowledge that I needed. But develop a budget. That's the first thing. And when I say develop a budget, that's just not, it just doesn't start, as you know, with the actors. It starts with the actors, the production crew. You need locations. You got to pay for that unless you're lucky enough to have someone that has some places. Food budget is a big thing. Big thing. Now, everybody on my set ate good. I made sure that they ate good. And when I say food budget comes in two things. What we call a craft table, to where you have something for everybody to eat daily. And then anytime someone is doing a film for over 8 hours, um, now I'm non union and everything else, but I still believe in taking care of my people because I've been on many sets. So I believe everyone needs to eat a hot meal. So I always made sure everybody ate a hot meal. Everybody had, the craft table. When I say craft table, I'm not talking about no M&Ms and chips. You want to have healthy stuff like fruits, juices, water, little. The three things that people really love is boxes of cereal, them little bitty boxes of cereal, granola bars. I don't know why, but them little granola bars and fruit. Those are the main thing that people ate, and y'all ate up a lot of food. So, and especially the new people that ain't never been on set before, they was taking food and putting it in their pockets and everything else. I saw a couple of them, but I didn't say nothing. So,
So you are a writer, producer, and a director, and you work on outside projects. What determines if you will take on a project? Because every project is not a good fit for
that
everyone.
that is true. The first thing, I'm at a level now, and I'm not trying to act like I'm all that, but I am a level now to where people know who I am. And like I said, that's because I've been in the business for a while as a comic and joke writer and things like that. But I would say the main three things that I do is I give a lot of information and advice. I get paid people to do that. I write a lot of budgets for people. And then I also write what they call a promo package. Basically sets up to where you're showing everybody that's in your film, the budget for the film, where it's going to be produced, basically everything that you need to do to get an investor to invest in your film. That's my specialty. I know how to write that up to where I will get you money for your film. And also through my connections, I'll go ahead and reach out and give you some of my celebrity contacts, some of the good writers and film crew. And then last but not least, like I said, my main thing I do is I'm a writer first. So when I choose what I want to do, three things come to mind. One, is this person serious? Two, does this person, are they coming to me with something instead of an idea? Because everybody has an idea, but do you have it written down? Do you have it formatted? And do you have pictures and videos to show me what you want to do? And do you have some money? Don't come to me if you ain't got no damn money. Okay. Don't come to me and say, hey, I got this movie. I want to have Usher in it and I want to have Denzel in it. I was like, okay, so what's your budget? Oh, I don't have a budget. Okay, so what are you shooting? What camera you shooting on? Or who else is in the project? And are you on the IMDb page? Are you on the internet as far as do you have a website? So there's so many things that go into orchestrating a budget, a film to let people know. And as you know, it's funny because when I first heard the IMDb page, I had no idea what an IMDb page was. And then when I talked to you, you had no idea what IMDb page now. But now we both realize IMDb page is so important. And the reason why it's important is, I can give everybody a little secret they don't teach in a master class. When you have an IMDb page and when you put everything from your video to your movie to everything on there, an IMDb page is one of the #1 search engines that gets you on Google and on Bing. So when you have a movie or you have a video or you have a podcast and you put that on your IMDb page, when you type your name in, the first thing that comes up is your IMDb page. So now you're relevant. People know who you are. People are seeing who you are. So that's why IMDb page is so important. Even more important than the actual website.
Okay. So how do you do your casting and find your locations?
I pick people first. I pick someone that I want to work with and someone I feel like I can have a relationship with that I enjoy. Because when you on set 8 to 10 hours with somebody, if you don't like them, you don't work with them, it makes it very difficult. So one thing that I'm very happy and proud to say about my productions that I've had is everyone loves showing up for work. And everyone, you don't hear nothing negative like, oh, I don't like working this. I don't like, because I make sure everybody is fed. I make sure everybody has an equal part of what we're doing. I let my actors act. Now, we're going to stay on script, but at the same time, I'm taking your personality and I'm putting that on glass. And then you're going to do the lines because we work real hard on the lines, but we rehearse. And there's so many different things people don't understand. You just can't show up with a camera, a script, and expect to have a good movie. You got to have way more than that, because if those actors don't hit those lines of all that you work for and you don't have no rehearsing, it's just like a hobby, basically. And one thing I am happy to announce, and I'll announce this on your show, is we just got a distribution for Can't Get Right, Homestead Entertainment. And we will be featured on all types of platforms. The one I know that we'll be on for sure is Tubi, and we'll be on in December. So
Congratulations.
thank you. So Can't Get Right will be on in December. And Butterby Rocka is actually on the face of the poster. So her face will be out there. And when you go to all these different platforms, Tubi and all these other places, you will see her right then and there.
That's dope. That's dope. So I'm a new director. I'm a new writer. I have made my budget. I know what I can spend, right? I know what actors I want to use, but I don't know how to approach them. What's your advice?
Okay. So news travels fast on who you are and what you're doing, first and foremost. So I recommend 3 things: get a website, get an IMDb page, and then if you have, make a video of yourself saying, hey, I'm Butterby Rocker, and I have a new film called Charm School. And this is what Charm Schools is. And you talk about all the people that's in it. So you're selling yourself. So video is very big in this business. People will watch video before they read your script. People watch video before they do anything at all. So make a video of yourself and then get a picture of the people that are in your movie, and make sure that you in your video, like you say, so my first actor that I'm happy to have is Marcus Head, and then a picture of me will come up. And then if you have a video clip of something that they've done, put that in the clip. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is, when I figure out who I want in my film and things like that, before I even do that, one, I want to know, are they marketable? Is it somebody that people like? Somebody that people want to see? Because there's a lot of people in this business people can't stand, and it's just going to tank your film. So it's not all about how many Instagram or Facebook likes or postings they have and numbers. It's about, can this person move the needle? Are they trending upward? And then get familiar faces in your project that people realize and things like that. Because That's the biggest thing. You can have all unknown people, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what I pride myself on, is people that people don't know, but I want to make sure people have seen or identified. So identification is huge when you're writing. You want to make sure you identify, like, can't get right. Everybody identify that pot smoking family member. Everybody knows that preacher at the church. Everybody knows that irresponsible dude, that what they're going to do and what they're not going to do with money. Everybody went to the barbershop or hair salon. So do things that people are familiar, and people are going to enjoy your film when you put something that they can identify with. Yeah, oh yeah, I got a cousin like that. Oh yeah, I remember I do that, or things like that. That's the biggest thing when you're writing. Make sure you have identification.
When I say he is dropping dimes on this show, this is definitely important for all new filmmakers. He is telling it like it is, and I appreciate you being so transparent. So, okay,
Real quick, let me say this. You're not gonna run
okay.
my mouth. So the reason why I love to teach and inspire is I've always wanted to be a fifth grade teacher, and I was that close from being a fifth grade teacher. So my comic style, and like I said, I'm a communicator and a person with imagination of just want people to succeed first. And when you have that, people see right through that. And so this knowledge I'm giving right now is for free. And I just want people to take it and start your own LLC. I had one girl say, I don't want to start my LLC because I don't want to pay no taxes. And I had to break down to what is an LLC and what does it mean. One, you got to get insurance for your company, and you can't do it unless you have an LLC. So if you have making a little money, that's fine. But when you want to do a contract, you have to have insurance. Or if you want to do a project, you have to have a name and a license and a business. So paying taxes ain't nothing if you're making money. Think about that.
Okay. So back on to, we're still talking about filming and everything, and for our new film directors and producers and stuff. How do you handle conflict amongst your crew and amongst the actors? Because as you know, there is definitely conflict that happens. It's different personalities.
Yes, that is. And the best advice I can give to a young director is, one, act like you know what you're doing. First and foremost, act like you Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise, because if you look like you confused, you don't know what the hell you're doing, everybody gonna see that and they're gonna lose confidence in you. So that's the first thing, is have confidence, because think about it. If you wrote it, now not everybody writes and direct like you and me and act in it, but if you have a project and you are the executive producer and you're directing it, you know what you want to do and you know how you want to do it, first and foremost. So you have that confidence there. But don't be like a bully. It's my way or the highway. This is how we're going to do it. Now, I had a couple of incidents on the set, not many, but I had a couple where a couple of people thought they was funnier than they should have been and thought that they were bigger than they was. So I flipped the script on them. I said, all right, you think you know this? You think you know that? I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. Don't worry about the writing. You go ahead, ad lib, you do your thing. And I tested and did that to a couple people. And you know what? They looked stupid and they had no direction and they didn't know what to do. And after that, and they failed, then they was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and listen to this dude because it looks better and it sounds better. I've never taken the thing to where I'm smarter than everybody and I can do it better than anybody. Because when you do that, you're going to fail. And the one thing, as you know, is if I ever said the word I when I mentioned the production, I told everybody I'll give them $1. So I always wanted to, and this came from me. I used to be a general manager at Steak and Shake and a regional manager and a a manager at TGI Fridays. And the one thing I learned is if you give people ownership on what you're doing and make it feel like they are doing something and make sure that they're part of the production, they're going to give more to it than just being just an actor or just a person taking the pictures, taking the video. So if you make everybody feel important, like they are important and you can't do the film without them, because you can't, then one, that's going to make them feel like, okay, I want to go ahead and go that next level and do whatever it takes. Two, let them be themselves. If you know what your personality is and you know who you have on set, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you would try to train them and cage them in who they are. So what you do is you make adjustments. So you can write everything to the T. If it doesn't fit, then you have to quit, like they say, change it up. So I had a couple of actors that they was meshing with what I was doing. And I said, all right, let me go ahead and let them be them. And we did that, and we actually had a great production. And I'm sure you know a couple people offhand who I'm talking about. But let them be themselves. And probably the most important thing is if you're gonna chastise or criticize somebody, don't do it on set. Don't do it right then and there. If you do, be nice, nasty about it to where nobody even know what you're doing. But after you finish doing that take, walk over there to the side or send your AD, which is a like the second person in charge, or associate director, have them go to them and say, hey, you did a great job. Always positive first. But here, we can do this, we can do that. So constructive criticism, but at the same time, now there's times I had to take somebody in the back and I got in their ass. I'm just gonna be honest with you and let them know. So don't let my good suburban look fool you. I had to take some people to the back and be like, look, this is my production. If you don't want to do it, you can get the hell on. I did tell somebody that. And actually, after we talked, that person ended up doing a great and amazing job. And I'm not gonna say who it was, but they did an amazing job. But remember, it's your production, it's your money. So if you have a problem child, or you have somebody that continue, if you can't talk to them and get it right and everything else, sometimes all you gotta do is just rewrite the script, take them out of less, and then go ahead and run and do what you got to do. Don't sit up there and make somebody. I don't care if it's your lead actor. If it's your lead actor and they're giving you a hard time, first of all, that's your fault because you casted them and brought them into that. If you knew you had a problem child when you first started, then don't do that. Because my lead for my film was going to be Little Duval. And I like Little Duval, and Little Duval started out, with me and everything else, right when I was doing my comedy. And he's a talent, he's funny. But I was like, you know what? He's talented, he's funny, but I don't need the headache because he is a handful. So I went ahead and went to somebody else. And Shawty came aboard. And Shawty didn't have a lot of experience as far as acting in a lead role, but he did a great job because I ain't gonna say he didn't take it seriously, but he wasn't reading his lines and reading his script the way he should have. And I sat down and told him, like, look, bro, you in charge of this production. The two most important people on the set is the director and the lead actor. If you do your thing, people gonna follow your lead. And after we had that talk, he actually went, read his lines. We started doing more rehearsals, and he started nailing it. And I'm gonna be honest, Shawty came in. Now he was late a couple of times, but when he got there, brother was on time. He was on point. It was not one complaint. It was a couple of times we ran over, no complaints. He did his thing, and people saw that, and they saw the chemistry that him and I had, and they was like, well, if your lead quarterback, you on a football team and your quarterback and you and the coach are in sync, just like the director and the actor, people see that. So they're gonna be like, well, if they cool, then I look like an a-hole trying to cause a fit, and I ain't even the lead role. You know what I mean? So having a good relationship with not only just your actor, but everybody on your crew, and treat them with respect. And that's one thing that I try to do is I treated everybody with respect. I never, like I said, downed anybody, talked to anybody. I don't talk behind people back. That's not me. And like I said, we ended up having a great production. And I would say 95% of my crew, cast, and film production want to work with me again. And I'm really happy about that.
That's good. That's definitely good. Again, you're dropping a lot of knowledge right now. Okay, so your film Can't Get Right was finished and it aired. Tell me about that feeling of seeing it on TV.
Well, we're not there yet. Now, we did do what we call we created a link for
Mhm.
people to go watch the film, and we charged like $9.99. And actually, it was kind of successful. We had a couple thousand people that actually paid to watch it. So we did very well there. And we were supposed to have it on Amazon TV and Fire Stick, and I forgot the other one. But for some reason, they said it was an issue with it. They didn't want to put it on there because what I was doing was I was going through like Amazon TV and Fire Stick, and I wasn't on their channel. But when you go to the search box and you put in Can't Get Right, or you put in Artistic KTV is what we was using, that would have went right to our thing, but it didn't work that way. So we created a link. Like I said, we created a following from it, and that like expanded, and we market the heck out of that. I was everywhere. I went to like 8 different states to market my film. I was on Young Jock and Shawty show. I was on Leon Rogers, Rick Party, Ed Lover. So I was on a lot of notable people show, And we just started plugging away. And I told all my actors, please start posting the video, start posting the trailer. And I gave the film to a couple of people and said, hey, take a couple of clips out of it and, do what you need to do. And like I said, I'm not that type of person that feels, oh, no, you can't watch my movie. You can't have, no. Anything that's going to make you be a better filmmaker or better actress, and I can get you clips, I'm going to give it to you. And like I said, you're a testament to that. I'm going to give anything that you need to make you better. That's my number one goal.
Okay. But you still didn't answer the question
What was
because
the
I
question?
did see it on TV, right? So
Mhm.
people that had the link, we got to see it on TV.
Now you
Tell
saw it
me
on
that.
TV, like you talking about the channel that we created,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The
Okay.
channel with you. Right.
The feeling of seeing it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, girl. You told you I run my mouth and I start rumbling. It was a great feeling knowing that all your hard work and all your accomplishment that you have put in is visible. And I would say the biggest accomplishment is my family got to watch it. My father-in-law got to watch it. My mom, who was a big part of the show, as far as she made the t-shirts for my whole film crew. She made all the just everything. She made, you see the background I have right here? She
Mm-hmm.
made my background for Can't Get Right. And she just, man, she made the hats, the shirts. She just made so many things for promotion items. And my parents being able to see my film was gratifying, because when you're a little kid, you always talk about, yeah, I'm gonna be a big star, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then when you actually do something to where it's on TV,
Right.
I'm telling, not everybody get to have that experience, because I'm living the dream. The dream I'm living is I have my passion and I've created and channeled it into a revenue. And for me to wake up every day, I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in like 15 years. And it's beautiful when you have something that you personally love to do and you're making money doing it and people are recognizing what you're doing. Next is coming awards and everything else, and we'll get to that. But I just have the confidence now that anything can happen, because I've been through so much, that I know I can get a film financed. I know I can get a film done. I know I can get the actors that I want. Like I said, Montel Jordan is a producer on the film. We have a song by Rick Ross in the film. We got a song by The Cray in the film. We got a song by my girl KJ Rose, who I went to high school with, and her name is KJ Rose from KJ Rose Effect. And she's a big motivational speaker, but she's Little Nas's spiritual advisor. So, we've had some really good talent that, you know, man, like I said, it gives you goosebumps when you work so hard for something to see it on TV and people watch it. I don't give a damn if you like it or not, because it's there. That's my thing. It's there. So can anybody take it away from me?
Yep. I agree. Okay. So tell us about your new podcast.
So the podcast is called the Good Head Podcast Show. Not the Good Head Podcast, but the Good Head Podcast Show. And you can go check it out. The website will actually be up Monday. But you can go to Instagram, Good Head Podcast Show. And basically what we're going to do, very similar to yours, what we're doing is we're taking celebrities, creators, and people that have a passion of what they're doing and making a revenue. And we're giving you oxygen to broaden your brand awareness, your business. We're promoting your what you're doing. We're going to have people you may not know. We're going to have people you know. We're going to have Montel Jordan on the show. Cool Bubba Ice, who's a big time comic who's been in a lot of movies. Haywood Nelson, who played Dwayne Wayne, not Dwayne Wayne, Dwayne on What's Happening, Mr. Hey Hey Hey. We have just so many different people. David Tolliver from Men at Large is actually going to be on the show coming up. Shoddy, Rodney Perry. Eventually, I'm gonna get Butterby Rock on there, and but it's not all. I have one lady that's her living is she digs sea turtles up from people's homes so people can put homes and properties, on. So basically, she goes in, digs sea turtles out of the ground, takes them out, and then puts them in other places.
Mm,
That's fascinating to make a revenue. How many people could say they make a revenue doing that?
mm.
And I have a guy that does art. He just paints art by hand, and he's made a great living just doing that. Like I say, he get his hands messed up and dirty, but he making money doing what he loves. Not everybody can do that.
Right.
So I just want to inspire people and give them a platform for their brand and their business is what I really want to do, because I know how hard it is, and I know you know how hard it is to get your name out there, to market yourself. But everything I'm mentioning here, as you can mention and you can see, I'm passionate about success, and I'm passionate about inspiring people to want more than just being settled for just the ordinary.
Okay. So what projects are coming up for your production M Head Films?
So I have a project called Liven in Color. It's very similar to Saturday Night Live Chappelle Show, and it's a stand-up improv comedy show. And we have Coco Brown, Shawty, Rodney Perry, Leon Rogers, Dante Young on it. And basically, just imagine every little thing that people go through on an everyday basis, and we just make fun and humor out of it. We have a segment called Dr. Hershey. So we have a lot of segments about Dr. Hershey, who's a licensed therapist played by Sabrina Jackson. And during these sessions, she's actually giving real advice, but in a humorous way. So we got like a pimp on there. Shout out to Pat Mitchell, who is a pimp on the segment. And he's talking about how gas prices are so high that he can't drive his Cadillac no more. So he got to be a pimp on a 10-speed bike. And he got to run around, chase his girls on a bike, and they got strong leg muscles, so he can't catch up to him to get his money. So he's very emotional, talking to the Dr. Hershey on there. And we also have like just so many funny. We have a Little People's Problem. We got two small people on there, and Bria Green, who's from the Little Women from Atlanta, is on there. And they talking about how he don't want to be with her anymore because she's short. He want a tall woman now. So all he talking about is he want to go to strip club, find him some big, tall women. And she's like, well, I'm right here. He's like, well, I don't want you no more. You little. So they work through their little people problems. And we got a scene where this one dude lies all the time to his wife. And all he do is tell her, and I used to do a comic routine. I used to go, stop telling stories. And we added that into routine. And she keeps saying, stop telling stories. And every minute is a lie. And the doctor, Sabrina, Dr. Hershey on there is trying to get him to get out of that line. We got a scene where we got a girl named Tracy. She has two personalities. And 1 minute she's calm talking. The next minute she's like the Exodus talking, like eyes all popping out. And the doctor trying to find out which one is she talking to. So eventually we're actually going to make a Dr. Sabrina just got picked up for her podcast on Fox. Not Fox Soul, Fox. So she has a segment, and we're actually going to work a segment where we're going to go ahead and create a series where she's the therapist, and we got people with all type of issues and problems that's going to come to her therapy sessions. So we're excited about that. And we have 50 sketches that we shot already in Atlanta, and we're actually going to add a few more. Cool Bubba Ice, I just added to the cast. Shout out to Barry Brewer, who's also been added to the cast. And we have Martine Harris, who's going to be added. And if you have never met or seen Martine Harris, he does Richard Pryor to the T. Looks like him, sounds like him. So we're going to have a segment called Slap Your Mama Barbecue. Basically, it's going to be him and his sister, and they are running the restaurant in two different ways. And he's acting like Richard Pryor the whole time, getting on her while they arguing. So that's going to be dope. And we also have a project that I'm sure you're aware of, called Undercover Lover. And it's basically, if you've seen In Too Deep, Donnie Brasco, or let me see, something that people can realize. Basically, it's about a woman who is a young detective. She goes undercover for a guy they call the Duke of A. And the Duke of A is a guy who owns a strip club, but he does a lot of drugs and dirty work. So she goes undercover to kind of monitor it. She falls in love with him, and she has to make a decision. Is she going to go ahead and turn him in and bring him in? Or there's a lot of things that he does for her as far as saves her life. She realized he's actually a cool dude because he does a lot of things. So she has a girlfriend, and her girlfriend noticed she's changed. Her captain, who she reports to, noticed that she's changed. And it's going to be a series, but it's going to be dope. And then last but not least, I can't really talk and go into the project too much, but just imagine different world 25 years later. We got a project that we're doing and we're working on. And actually, some of the different world characters are actually committed to the project. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then we also have a animation project coming up. It's about a raccoon family, and the girl, she wants to be a singer, and the family is her dad and mom's like, look, we're raccoons. All we do is we eat garbage, and that's what we do. And we come out at night, and she's like, I want to be more than that. So she's going to do a lot of singing. She's going to run away from home, join the circus, and do a lot of singing. And the tiger, who is the main attraction of the circus, all of a sudden hates her because she's the main act now. And we got these two possums that, that have been people that fly around on the thing. All they
Mhm.
do is talk smack. The name is this and that. And all they do is talk smack like the whole thing. It's like Madagascar type deal. So I'm really looking forward to that. And a lot of people on my projects right now are actually going to be in those projects as well. I believe in keeping it real and keeping everybody, keeping it in the family, because now people know my expectations and I know theirs. So it's just easy to film.
Okay.
Oh,
So
real
how
quick, I'm sorry. I am looking for people that are music artists for my Liven in Color project. And you can go to Liven in Color to check it out, or just go to my MHead Filmmaker or InColorImprovShow.com. And the Liven in Color, we're looking for music artists that have a video for under 1 to 2 minutes that's clean content. So anybody that is a musician that wants to be featured in a major TV series, please reach out to us and definitely send us the music. We'll check it out because we have like 15 songs, and basically it's going to be in between commercials of these sketches. So if you're a music artist and you want to have your music known and get out there, definitely reach out to filmmaker at mheadfilms.com. And or just Google my name. You Google my name, I come up everywhere, and you'll be able to reach out to me. I'm sorry, I
okay.
had to get that in.
All right, no problem, no problem. Well, I would like to thank you so much for being a part of Transparency Talks podcast. Drop your Instagram information for everybody.
Sure. You can reach me at mhead filmmaker. That's my main Instagram platform. You can also reach me on the Goodhead Podcast Show on Instagram. And like I said, goodheadpodcast.com. You can reach me at can'tgetright.com. And that's can't get right with the RITE, can'tgetright.com. And like I said, just Google my name. I come up on anything and everything, and you'll see all the projects I'm doing. And hopefully, like I say, Can't Get Right will be out in December on Tubi. Really excited about that. And now that I have that hookup with a lot of these platforms, then it just opens up the gate for a lot of things. But Live in Color is next. Definitely look out for that. And we'll hopefully have that done by February.
Okay.
But shout out to Butter B Rocker, y'all. Thank you so much for having me. And like I said, I appreciate everything. And you are doing your thing. You evolving as my eyes just continue to watch. And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for being a part of Transparency Talks podcast. You have been very transparent, and the things that you said have definitely helped me. And I'm sure it's going to help a lot of other people that is in the industry or that are aspiring to become in an industry. So thank you so much. And with that, everybody, we got to get out of here. So we'll talk to you guys later.